TIFU by telling a customer I wanted him to be my daddy. Him leaving the store to do it online is the real cherry. 100%. I wish I had a father like you. What you could have said better is, oh please, be my daddy, I see nothing wrong with you. Firm reply and the consistency of your conviction. Sorry daddy, I've been naughty, vs forgive me father, for I have sinned. I apologize. Patriarch, as I have committed a shameful action. I'm of deepest sorrow, O sperm donor of mine. For I have obtained thy grain in a disrespectful manner. Male meat producer, to whom I credit my genetic coding. I extend regrets for my inappropriate transgressions. I think about the time I started a new job and the guy training me said sorry to be anal. It's just really important to do this in this order, and I said that okay. I love anal. And one day I will fall asleep without that sentence echoing in my ears. Hahaha, I once had a professor ask me, do you have a secretary? And I said I have lots of sex. As my high school teacher, who insisted on seconds being only abbreviated to S. There is no sex in physics, but there is physics in sex. Not the way I do it. If you just said dad, it wouldn't be so bad. You can't imagine how many times this has crossed my mind. I could have said dad, I could have just said dad, why didn't I just say dad? What the F is a daddy anyways? I'm just going to say father from now on. F I'm daddy. I might as well have bent myself over the desk and asked for a spanking. Why the F would I ever say daddy? Like, dad is even easier still. One syllable. One syllable ruined my life. I need to move. I have to start a new life. F I can't look at in the face anymore. What will I call him? Father. What am I? The delightful children from down the lane? Pop. He'll know something changed. Something happened. I just need to disappear. I need a new life on Liffens. Started 2020-09-02 username. Escaping daddy. RIP. You tried to blow it. And you blew it. He gave you a second chance and you nailed it. Yup. Nailed that coffin. / coffin dance. World been even better if as he was leaving you said something along the lines of what's wrong daddy, or wait, come back daddy, as he was leaving. Daddy chill. Honestly the best meme. You repeating the line is what killed me, hahaha. When luck gives you a chance and you still screw up. SMH. Always a classic. Luck 10, charisma 1, just goes to show you have to balance those stats. Charisma 8, intelligence 8, luck 9, wisdom 2. Perhaps I wasn't considering a wisdom tray. I was channeling Fallout's specials, which wraps wisdom type attributes into charisma and intelligence, I'd say. But in general, I'd think such high charisma and intelligence would be sufficient to either make the guy laugh about the comment, or be smart enough to change the wording the second time around. I've done this before, but my customer killed himself laughing. He saw it as a huge compliment as he realized he was gifting his child a really enviable start. Just a very stuck-up customer in my opinion. You meant it as a massive compliment. I won't beat yourself up X. This is a lovely comment. Thank you. It's true. My customer had a baby barely 2 months old in a carry seat in the corner. He wanted to put £20k in the account to start off for baby's future. I said the same thing as you, and he was really flattered. X. I wish I had any of you as my banker than the person I got. I went to open a high interest savings account as a 20-year-old and was spoken to condescendingly and reminded repeatedly that it won't gain any interest unless it's over $1,000 and there. Called over their manager and everything to go over it again and condescendingly explain. Their tune improved remarkably when I produced a $10k check to deposit. I would have told them I'd be taking my 10k elsewhere. I answered a phone call from my dad in public, and instead of saying the usual "hello daddy-o," I accidentally left the O off, and now my friends always greet me with "hello daddy" in a sing-songy British accent. I'm a 44-year man. Lmu. I wish you were my daddy, so you could stuff your big bills into my tiny little account. Why did I hear this in Alexis Rose's voice? Who David? Coincidentally, I was in a bank talking about getting a mortgage. Seems that this bank had a 65-year limit at the end of the 25-year mortgage, i.e. you had to be under 40. I wasn't. The young lady telling me this said back quote it could work if your wife is under 40 feet. I said back quote she's over 40. I need a younger whiffy young lady says back quote I'm under 40 apostrophe I thought my luck had changed. However, I felt nothing but humor about the situation. If the customer couldn't see humor in your daddy exchange, he has a problem. Seems that this bank had a 65-year limit at the end of the 25-year mortgage i.e. you had to be under 40 that would be illegal in the US. A few years back I, 28 male, was working with a real estate agent, early 30s female, hosting tours of some model homes. We were on the second floor of one with a few clients, but I had to leave briefly for something else. Later that day I said, "Sorry for going downstairs on you earlier" to her in front of a group of people. Immediately I realized what I said, but no one acknowledged it. Not sure if she picked up on the sexual innuendo, but I think about it often. Well, I mean, if it gets you to #1 salesperson of the month, you gotta do what you gotta do, am I right? That guy getting his fat stacks out in the third bank that day, 'cause all the tellers want him to be their sugar daddy. Shit, here we go again. Suffering from success. Wow, I just found the title to my memoir. Subtitle: The Bittersweet Life of a Sugar Daddy. Subtitle: Sowing the Seeds of Success One Hole at a Time. Apostrophe. Had to call my bank and tell them to allow my transaction with GoDaddy, website domain and hosting, to go through. Bank lady on phone goes, "So you're trying to make a payment to GoDaddy?" And I'm just like, yes. And she just says, "Okay." I wanted to say, "It's not what you think. You'd think that GoDaddy is known well enough for that not to be an issue." To be fair, though, I work for GoDaddy. I always like to pretend my daughter's cheering me on. That's actually really wholesome. Repeating the line might be the most alpha move I've ever seen. "Excuse me, you fucking heard me. I said I wish you were my daddy. What you gonna do about it?" Sometimes things don't come out how we intended them to sound, and that's okay. It's a part of life to have at least one mortifying moment. Luckily sometimes there's a chance they don't hear you, so you can cover or change what you said. "I wish you were my daddy," degrees, so you could put money in my account. You can keep the change. I get paid to talk to people, but for some reason my silver tongue will not function whenever my wife is the audience. For example, we were going out on date night not too long after having our kiddo. I was ready and waiting downstairs when she was finally done getting dressed and whatever. She looked stunning when she made it all the way down and asked me how do I look. I wanted to let her know how hot she was, so I said, "I'm just sorry we have to leave the house." Or another time, we had just gotten home from somewhere and were about to turn around and head back out. She was going to run inside for something, and I was trying to say, "I don't suppose you could grab me a Red Bull." However, at the same time, she said, "I love you." So I said, "I don't love you too." It's the worst. Bahaha, thank you, making me cry. Laughter. Lol, fellow foot and mouth sufferer here. I'll take some of that embarrassment off your plate for ya. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Sorry, Daddy, I've been naughty. Imagine someone actually starting a confession like this. Imagine. I might have to find a church that takes confession in my city, so I can go just to do this. A bucket list item. I'm not generally confident with stuff like that, but I'd never go again. It'd be anonymous and my curiosity over their reaction might outweigh any nerves. You stood your ground. Double down and maintain eye contact. Dominance achieved. Dadders usually want subs, not doms. If you just broke down crying after you said it, he would have just assumed you had dad issues instead of being insulted. Probably would have still left though. Less likely to file a report though. One day I was at the grocery store with my son, about 1.5 years old. Every time he saw a black man, he stood up in his stroller, waved frantically at him and yelled, "Dada, his father is not black." This reminds me of a time I called a patient's father daddy. As a pediatric nurse, we often tend to call the parents by mom and dad. and for whatever reason I turned to the patient's dad after he asked me a question and I answered yes daddy. Needless to say I ran out of that room as quickly as I could. I could not understand why in the world I had responded to him in such manner. I'm a father of 3 and I've been called daddy by more than one pediatric nurse, and it was only awkward the one time that the nurse obviously realized what she said and got awkward. Haha. How recent was this? Maybe it was me.